do. And I believe we're live. It
I
has
do
been,
believe you are.
yeah. Let me double check and get us out and, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. So, how has your day been?
Eventful, very eventful. I had planned on doing a get ready with me. Well, that didn't happen because, our drawer decided it wanted to go behave with Mercury in retrograde.
Well, yes. But you've got how many years on that dryer, though?
Probably 6.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? I'm not used to this people killing dryers after like 6 years or killing a washing machine in like a year. Hey,
Mhm.
Brenda. No, sorry. I think my mom had hers for like 25 before it crapped.
Yeah. Well, that's, the better ones.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, the one that we had in Princeton, we gave away after 6 years, and it was still running.
I know.
And then there was the one my dad had, which God knows lasted like a decade and was still going.
Right.
Not happily, but then again, that was never a happy washer dryer stackable to begin with. My family has a thing for stackables. Just side note.
Well, that's what we're moving to. But I installed a really nice dryer today that's very energy friendly and green. And
I haven't seen it yet.
no, you haven't. You haven't been out to the backyard.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
I spent my day trying to get computers set up for a client. Got them to a point that I can finish them remotely. Oh, can I just point out Norton is annoying. Like,
Yeah.
I like them. I recommend them. They are a great antivirus. Well, for businesses, I do have to kind of go there. I do like to throw the big name out. Just because they do offer a lot of protection against they screw up. They have lovely insurance.
Well, that's about the only thing they have. Hi, Elsa. Elsa. Hi, Brenda. That's about the only thing they have. I'm sorry, I find them bloated. I find them slowing down my system, and I find that they create more problems than they're worth, and they cost too damn much. Microsoft designed one, and it works lovely antivirus.
I thought that was McAfee you were talking about for a second.
Both of them suck.
Which is basically, at this point, I swear to God, McAfee is nothing more than just, commonly recognized malware. Like, no, seriously, if you have McAfee on your system, just rip it off. Like, it is so bad now.
Right. But again, it's crap.
10 years ago, like that free year of McAfee, keep it, use it, enjoy. You got your new computer. Now, I can't take it off fast enough. Right. I seriously cannot take it off of a computer fast enough.
And you have to watch. If you have to do an Adobe update, they try to sneak it in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because now it comes free with coffee. I mean, like, you can get a free copy of McAfee anywhere.
Exactly. But
like, McAfee and there's like a free McAfee bin next to like a free condom bin. At a brothel. Because that's the level of McAfee anymore, is it's in the red light district.
But again, Norton is the same way. Sorry. $350 for a program is crap.
Well, but unlimited
built with one.
But unlimited licenses.
Still, Windows comes built with one that works just well. Yeah. Really? How many times have we rebuilt my system?
That's because you haven't brought it to me yet. We haven't had time to rebuild it. We thought we would in the last couple of months, but no. Although now maybe with the app for clients.
I know. I mean, I'm even thinking about getting rid of my big monitor.
What?
Well, the only thing I'm using it for is television.
Well, technically, that's what it is.
I know. I'm thinking about just using it as a TV.
Aww. That's so cute. You're
Well,
going to have a TV that's used as a TV.
I
I
know.
think it'll be one of the few things in the house that's actually used exactly for what it was intended for.
Probably. But
Oh,
we put up a clothesline today, me and the invisible assistant, and it was installed, and it would cost us a whole $10.60
mhm.
to go up.
Thankfully, we had lumber.
Yeah, we had the lumber. And I'm like, why the hell did we take this down to begin with? And then I remembered, oh, yeah, there was supposed to be a gazebo tub here in the backyard, and it never appeared.
I say your dad just got tired of driving around it to mow or
Probably.
pushing around it to mow.
Probably.
Because there's a reason that in wrestling they have a move called the clothesline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, every man has done it once.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the height that you install a clothesline at typically is just low enough. It's going to get the dude in the middle.
Yeah, mine is a little higher than that because I'm a little taller than 5'2". This is the common problem we have in the house. The counters and everything else, except for the cabinets that I hung, is designed for someone that's 5'2" to 5'7".
Yes.
Yes. So I end up bending over to cut vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll fix that in a couple years.
Yes, when we finally get to redo the kitchen, which we thought we were going to be able to do this spring, but not for the road project.
Well, the road
project, towards it because it's on the other side of the window beside me.
Right, which I think has been a pain in my ass, but it was hilarious today.
Yes.
They have found the old water table.
Well, the old retention pond, so that the storm sewer wouldn't flood, that they had neglected for, 15, 20 years?
30.
Oh, okay. Only 30. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they done that when they paved the road, and that was in 94, so do your math. I ain't got time for it.
A while.
Yeah.
So about 25, 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll just wait for them to find the other things that the city put in because we bitch, but it's not a city road.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got issues in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. Oh, but no, it's been a day.
It's been a week. I mean, because Saturday we went back to Crystal Lotus. I took live appointments then. You guys can now book your live appointments for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I've got to go and change the hours, but you'll be able to book live appointments now. You will also notice that there is no 15-minute appointment on the list. Those are only going to be offered during events like Taste of the Lotus, which is coming up this Saturday. Now, you'll want to call and reserve your spot because of the way that we have to do the cleaning and everything. It isn't going to be this nonstop read for me.
Now, just to clarify, 15 minutes is available for client phone.
Yes.
It's 30-minute minimum for client in person.
Yes.
So just keep that clear. Like, we did not totally kill the 15-minute appointment.
Yeah, it's live appointments.
Yeah.
Which they weren't being used. Every 15-minute live appointment was turning into a 30-minute live appointment.
Yeah, yours always did run long.
Yeah.
Or it got weird. Like, every once in a while, you get the 9-minuter.
Yeah.
And it's like, they had one question, you pulled 3 cards, and it's like, yeah, pretty much. Then we chit-chatted for a few, and, that was it. That was all they needed.
Yeah.
Why not call? Like, oh my God.
I know. But things, are getting a little bit back to the new normal. Spent the day in a mask. That wasn't too bad. I like my mask.
Yep. Well, I did too. I spent my day in a mask and multiple pairs of gloves.
Good. That way you don't cross-contaminate anything.
Well, yes, went back and forth, went and back and forth. That is at Crystal Lotus at 89 Old Main in St. Albans, West Virginia.
Yes. Yes. I hope that you'll be coming down to see us also. We would love to have you come visit. We talked about before you had your surgery, you want, possibly coming and hanging out and seeing what's up. It was really nice to see Sharon this week. She stopped and brought us makeup, which I haven't tried. I'm going to be honest. I was sweaty and nasty, and it wasn't a good day for makeup.
Wasn't the day you had planned at all.
No. Welcome to Mercury in retrograde. That does mean, however, you guys are going to get a second video because I'm going to do a get ready with me. And I'm going to do a review of Moonology Oracle deck.
Yes.
We're going to see how this is. That should be probably tomorrow or Thursday.
Now, that was the first Wish shipment, wasn't it?
Yes, this is the first Wish shipment we've gotten. And it has a downloadable guidebook. So we'll see what this deck does.
Now, was that her response on the deck?
No, I think that she was looking forward to the makeup today.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, sorry. I was like, no, that deck looks awesome.
The makeup looks awesome.
Well,
I'm impressed by it. But no, I think this is going to kind of fill a hole in the lovely world of YouTube of putting on everyday male makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be trying that out and doing a get ready with me. One of the days, I'll post in the mornings which day I'm going to be able to do it.
Awesome.
Yes. So that'll be fun. That'll be interesting to have a good bit of time to play this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I may start doing my eyes when I do live events. Not doing the full face, just doing the eye makeup, because at least then it looks better with the mask, because, makeup comes off on the mask that really doesn't look good. But I may do my eyes this Saturday.
There you go.
Yeah, try some of the weird colors that I won't normally use.
Steer clear of anything that's going to give you some red around the eyes. Like we don't want to look to go for the infected zombie look.
No, I'm not going to go zombie infected look. But I've got some greens and some blues and some different colors I don't normally wear.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
that works. Hello, Terry.
So in other news, and kind of I found hilarious, and you can take this away because it's your domain. The supposed million tickets issued to a rally that really turned out to be a prank. Go for it.
So TikTok is not a platform that many are very, very familiar with. You've probably seen a few videos pop up on Facebook. It's actually if I remember correctly, it is a Chinese platform. Very super popular or is it Korean? K-pop community.
Right.
Anyway, so it's very popular there. It's very popular with teens. It's I'm trying to find some. It's sort of, it's a teen thing right now. Like it seems to fit that genre. It's quick messaging. I believe it's destructive messaging. It's really big for video, short video.
Yeah.
Offers a lot of tools for video. So a lot of people use it in K-pop culture to showcase their dance abilities. Awesome, right? What does this have to do with a Trump rally? Well, glad you asked. Turns out it became a viral sensation throughout the K-pop and entire sort of TikTok community for teens to go register, reserve their space, which you really couldn't, but are basically let them know you were coming. So 1 million people were supposedly going to show up at this rally, and the fire marshal says 6,000 showed up.
See, and I'm even debating that because I'm looking at these pictures that we're getting in.
It's a big stadium. The stadium seating itself is like 19,600. And that's if you're talking total spectators, I do believe. So when you start filling in the middle a little,
very little, but it's like, no, I'm thinking I've seen larger crowds at pagan events, so let's go about 500.
Oh, apparently baby witches are on TikTok. Thank you, Gwen. Hello, Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's witch talk.
Ooh. The spell in 30 seconds. That could be an interesting video.
Oh, I think you were built for this, considering you do classes and involve the fact that I can do an entire spell based on like a cigarette, a lighter, a bottle of water, and a packet of salt from the cafeteria.
No. You can do a spell with a cigarette and an ink pen. You write the problem or the person's name on the cigarette and you smoke the sucker. And when you're done, you stomp it out and they'll burn away.
There you go. So yeah. So no, that's been a fun one. That is
yeah. But one of the, and I think I'm going to do it for a 101, is some of the everyday, quick and easy. You don't need 100 pieces of equipment. Spell work.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's a point you make in your class, is that this is not about who has the best shit. Like, nice shit is nice. No one's arguing that. Having nice shit is cool. But you don't have to go out and start searching the world and spending thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars. Like, you can make some of this work at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I like my $20 altar. Granted, I have totes in the attic full of altar stuff, candelabras, candle holders, cauldrons, beautiful wands, beautiful athames. There's a few staffs up there. Heck, I've got a staff down at the store that I just love. But at the same time, do you need all that? No, you really don't. What you need is intention. So I'm really liking that the baby witches are taking on witch talk.
Yeah,
that was cool as heck. I will have to actually go look at that because the only thing I've seen on TikTok is Shane Dawson dancing, and that's hilarious.
Fun. But well, and you bring up something that might be cool to do is if we were to pull down all your stuff and do from a comparison, a spectral. A spectrum of Dollar Tree to this is the best I got. And individual altars set up like that.
Right. Which, that means I have to go find me a pygmy.
You have to find a what?
I need a pygmy to go up in the attic and pull the totes down. I need a short person.
A very short person.
Yes.
Maybe a hobbit.
Yes, a hobbit would be lovely. They could make a full house up there.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Brenda brings up that, yes, poor country relatives used what they had. Pie tin could be a mirror. You don't need expensive. No, you don't.
You don't. You don't need expensive. You don't need Uber. You don't need to order dragon's blood wood from Indonesia and bamboo seeds from Taiwan and red chilies from Mexico and vanilla bean from South Africa to do a spell.
Right. Well, and again, that's a big part of things you teach in your classes is that no, stop using shit you have to order.
Right.
Like as an A1 item is stop using shit you have to order.
Stop using shit you don't know what the heck is. If
Yeah,
you cannot pronounce it, it should not be in your craft.
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that was the more interesting part. And it's even more fun when you go shopping with him because all of it's flexible. Like like he's like one, he will never be able to just send me with a list and be like, go to Dollar Tree and get me stuff for this altar I'm doing. No. For the simple reason that he makes this list and it's all flexible.
Well, no, it's all
Every bit.
substitutable.
Huh?
It's all substitutable.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a completely flexible list. It's like, oh, they don't have this, I'll get that. It's interchangeable. It's fine.
Right.
You know, oh, they don't have this, I'll get that. That'll work. And then the biggest problem we ran into for like because we were doing a simple version for one of your classes, a candle magic class. And the biggest problem we ran into was expecting to find, I believe it was white candles to do one spell. And then that didn't work out. So you were like, okay, we're just doing something else entirely.
Well, no, I was going to do my forever ending money candle.
Oh, no, it was green ones then we were looking for.
They didn't have green ones. I was like, fine. Switch up. Let's do divine intervention.
There you go.
A lot of purple candles. That'll work.
Yeah. So yes, and Elsa's agrees that intention is key and rituals help focus the intention.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Now, you know, things that I don't use substitutes for is like our bath salt salons. You're never, if we are out of example, I am waiting for my roses to finish blooming so I can make leather and lace. Bath salts, they haven't gotten to enough bloom yet. That should be probably here very, very shortly. You know, I'm not going to substitute. Well, they don't have rose petals, so I'm just going to go order them, or I'm going to do this for them. No.
Well, we'll pick through some potpourri for you.
Yeah. No. There are some altars. They move. Believe me, I've had altars of everything. And I am going to do again the workplace emergency altar. To show people what they can use, and this will be in a 101, and it may even be a video I'll put together because I'm getting really fed up with YouTube videos showing censors. Censors weren't used until the Catholic Church got fancy and got money.
What? I'm sorry, I'm totally not following.
Censors, you know, the big brass thing that hangs on a chain that, you know, the priest carries up to the chapel, or carry, the Wiccans walk the circle with.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I knew they had a name. I just went with smoky ball on a chain thing.
You go.
That's where I was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your future life of your T-balls.
Hey, leave my T-balls out of this.
Funniest.
My T-balls are great for tea. They suck for coffee. Leave them alone.
That's okay. I found a resource for that, and we can fix that now.
No.
It actually came out of a camping video.
Oh, God. I don't know. The last time you tried to make emergency coffee, I swear to God, there were twigs and berries. I wasn't sure if you made coffee or washed a very dirty bear. Either way, it tasted like crunchy bath water.
Yeah, you couldn't hang with it.
Can't. Nope.
Yeah. So
we don't have to chew coffee, and I mean literally chew.
Yeah, it was a little thick and a little strong. Okay.
A little. I've had like runnier milkshakes. Like, go teach Tom's a few things about making a treasure.
Oh, please, honey. They don't want me back in that kitchen. There's a reason that they quickly started getting my order right because they really don't want me to come back to work for them.
No, right now they just don't want you to like come blasting in the door, like get out of my way, I'll fix my own dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They knew the one worker there that worked for me as a waitress knows that I don't put up with half the crap they do there now.
Yeah, it's and okay, and I shouldn't say this, but let's just say in general for all restaurants, if and we're not saying this happened at Tom's, but if this happened at another restaurant, when one employee looks at you and says, "Next time you come in, just ask for me," I will take your order and I will make your order.
Mm-hmm.
I think you already know you got problems. I'm just saying. I think that's when you know, like, yeah, we've got problems.
Mm-hmm. And that's happened at two places.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened at
Where's the other one?
IHOP.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's a waitress there that's like, I will take that table.
Right now, we hope that she's still there.
Yeah, we're hoping she's still there because she actually
Or
does
will
good
still
food.
be there.
Another local restaurant is very fearful of me getting up out of my chair and telling them to get the hell out of my way.
Okay. Oh my God. This
The
is why
omelet
we don't need
shop.
that. The omelet shop?
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord. Would you stop traumatizing people in kitchens?
Well, if they would cook right, I wouldn't have to traumatize them. There's no reason for a burger to take 30 minutes to cook, nor a reason to put a weight lift on it.
Well, But hi.
But hi. Yes, I am a nightmare to restaurants. I worked and lived in that business for more than 20 years. It's like nurses. They all know, they quickly figure out they don't pull shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's that too.
yeah.
I'm not kidding. There aren't many places I can take him that he does not get himself in trouble.
I don't get myself in trouble. They just respond very politely and quickly. I mean, yeah.
that's that's one way of focusing on the positives. Uh,
Well, it's like your neck surgery. You waited around. I had to, after a discussion over his PTE, I had took my hands off the situation. Was just going to let him deal with it.
mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, honey, when are you having your next surgery? I don't know. They haven't called me.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
So, and this was in April.
No. That was actually about when my appointment to meet with that doctor was.
No, you never got that appointment.
Right?
Yeah, you were supposed to get a call for an appointment. You were referred in February.
No, I was referred in like November. And yeah, it was February when you finally went, all right, so I'm calling.
Yes.
And then it was like bam, bam, bam. And like a week later, my appointment was because they had totally misplaced me.
Yeah, didn't know where you were, didn't know what was going on, didn't know anything. And I'm
Like,
like,
who for what? We got nothing.
we don't have anything. Oh, you don't have anything. Well, let me hold still. Hold still. Let me put you on call waiting. I'll call over and get that referral sent over to you. And then, is it okay if we call you back at 3 o'clock? We called him at 1:30.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I'm not upset about that. I'm not ungrateful for that. It's just that, yeah, there's also other times though. It's like, oh my god, like just breathe for 5 seconds, give them a chance.
Uh-huh. I give them one chance.
Okay. But yeah, in other news, so we're up to how many planetary or astrological bodies are now in retrograde?
We are currently at 5 planets in retrograde. If your life isn't a little crazy and you aren't on a little on edge, I want your prescription number.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
However, this is a great time to be using this energy. Mercury in retrograde is a great time to weed out the crap you don't need in your life, to weed out and figure out new ways of doing things, because obviously it's not working. Jupiter in retrograde is a great time to expand businesses and take on new business opportunities. Saturn in retrograde is to look at your habits and see how they are doing, and what's really benefiting you and what's not. Venus in retrograde is a good time to reevaluate your pattern of relationships and how you spend your money. Like, are you an impulse buyer, or are you a depression buyer? Venus handles all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now's a great time to figure out some stuff or just, continue getting hammered by life.
Right.
Pick one or both. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But no, there's a lot of times that people really plant, and one of our friends brought this up in a meeting. Because we also have an eclipse. We had an eclipse, a very rare eclipse, a solar ring eclipse occur, and the effects of an eclipse last for 6 months. Yeah.
Is that like 3 before and 3 after, or is that like it occurs in 6 months?
Yep. It occurs 6 months later. The same energy occurrence happens.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun looking at, some of our trends, because, business has been booming, especially with some new technology things we're working on. Here's another reflex. You just set up 6 computers for a company.
Yeah. Well, almost done. We did hit a small snafu, but that's kind of back where we were earlier in the conversation with Norton. Because Norton licensing is fun, especially when your small business grows from like 3 computers to a whole lot more than 3 computers.
Right. Well, I will just, kind of put it out there to go about 3, 6, 9. Go about 14 weeks out in your calendar and just plan for a service that you'll have to go and service them.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Because Mercury will be in retrograde again, and those computers now have a zodiac sign in Mercury in retrograde.
Fun. Hey, what?
Uh-huh.
Like you couldn't have mentioned that. Just like you couldn't have mentioned that.
Oh, I did. See, that's part of that babble, as you say I do, of things you just don't listen to.
Usually because I'm asleep when you say them.
As he's driving down I-77, so you're going up and setting up computers in Mercury in retrograde. Yeah, I got to go up Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I wasn't listening. Nope. Wasn't.
I know. I know. I just warn you when Mercury in retrograde is coming into session so that you know to make sure to have the days availables for your clients. And also, we just clean off the dining room table because I'm sure some poor computers are going to be coming in very ill from Mercury in retrograde.
Possibly.
And then forever, it's been like probably 5 years now, there is these stupid astrology articles. And I get asked this in every astrology class. So what's the 13th sign? There is no 13th sign.
Well, and now there's another one, is apparently our zodiac signs change every 30 years.
Uh-huh. What they're referring to is a progressive chart. A progressive chart is used to cast your own horoscope on a daily basis. If you were born an Aries or Taurus or Cancer or Virgo or Sagittarius or any other sign in tropical astrology, you never change your sign.
Ah, good
You
deal.
may be under influence of your sign or influence of where your sun and where the sun is at, i.e., Cancer energy is different than, say, Aries energy. When the sun is in Aries, it's spring, things are hot, things are quick tempered, weather is crazy. In Cancer, it's a little bit more solemn, a little bit more focused on family and home. Oh, when do we take vacations? In the summer.
Well, there you go. But yeah, no. So yeah, you dropped that one on me, and I was like, okay. So
Actually, that came from one of our listeners. Gwen sent me the article a few minutes before the show, and I looked at it and I went, and I told her she could quote me on this. Bullshit.
see, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But no, it's always interesting though that there seems like there's still some new ideas floating around on astrology and some different ways of interpreting things.
There's a lot of new ideas. There are new money grabs.
Okay.
Because if you notice, it's on that site that provides these magical progressive charts. You can set up an account and order an interpretation for daily astrology.
Well, there you go.
It's better if you get your natal chart and then order a transit report.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Aww. Yeah, Elsa can't see her sign ever changing.
Nobody's sign ever changes. It's like tigers don't change their spots. Even if you shave them, their spots are actually still on the tiger.
Tigers don't have spots. They have stripes.
Yes.
Leopards have spots.
Again, if you shave them, they're still there, skin deep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, before there was this onslaught, because of course this had to come out from Women's Health magazine. I prefer Cosmo.
Okay.
But no, your zodiac sign does not change.
Hmm.
Once you're born under it, you are in. Even if the sun's elliptical would change and we would add a 13th sign, it would only be for children born after that elliptical change. And guess what? That hasn't happened in over 2,000 years.
Well, there you go. Alrighty.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. It seems weird though for something like astrology to keep trying to shove new stuff out.
Well, it's not
like the thing is.
Well, it's not astrology.
Okay.
Astrologist. Trying to repackage, rebrand something. Oh yeah, you've got you ordered a transit report. You need a progressive report. It's a money grab. There's no need for help for the Aquarians. Aquarians are a lovely sign.
Hey, aren't they in their age right now?
Well, no, we've gone past the age of Aquarius, honey.
Oh.
But Aquarians are awesome. They speak their mind. They are total truth bearers. They can't lie worth crap. They make poor lawyers, but wonderful judges.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. But no, Aquarians are fun. They have a really dry sense of humor that I get a lot. Pisces, you need emotions. You need, understandings of emotions and to go through that ocean. And they make lovely mediums. Cancers are great homemakers. Homekeepers. Hey. What?
Yeah. I'm not a little homemaker.
Yeah, you are. You do really great dishes.
I think I just got told you give good sponge. Is that what that turns into?
No, you decorate the house pretty. You do all the fun stuff like that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then get ripped apart because you hate my color palettes.
It's not that I hate your color palettes. It's that your color palettes translate wonderful on camera and video and film, but I like bright colors.
Yes.
If I had my
Well,
way, the walls would be red and black.
I know. I just think that's going to look a little too much.
No,
Yeah, I think it will.
no.
I think when you get your turn and do your office, you're going to find out that, you're going to look a little less, Coven of the Owls and a little more, Dark Lord Master Satan. I mean, it's going to be a little Luciferian or Luciferian. How does that work out? I'm not sure where to go with that. Anyway, but no, I think it's going to look really dark, very Dracula on camera. It's going to be a little much.
No, one, I can't get the wood carved gargoyles that I want in hickory. Apparently, no one does those anymore. Yes, I do a lot of goth. If I had my way, my house would be probably total goth. Just because I love the Victorian style. I love the Victorian patterns, the Victorian colors. Um, my house in Columbus was total goth. It was red and black and bright, bright crimson, and there's a lot of things there. You see, I got sold that idea.
You what now?
I got sold that idea.
Well, yes, technically you can.
But every time we go to get something a little bit more livelier, I get that look.
It's not a no.
No, it's a I wish you wouldn't.
Well, it's more so some of the stuff that you look at, I just imagine it morphing into your future wall.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, you're going to be really upset when you have to replace that because it blends in with the wall so well that no one's going to know you have it.
Uh-huh.
Until like a cat jumps behind it mid-show and it like pops out.
Uh-huh. But no, we have fun with decorating. We do have two opposite tastes, but that's a good thing. The house is very nice and calm and peaceful, and it'll also blend away in camera.
Well, it does. It does well.
Yeah. But no, we do have some accessories that are a little brighter. And once that the office gets built, now it's like sixth on the list of things that at one time it was like second on. Then
yeah.
Huh?
Unfortunately, yeah, it is. It's been pushed down a little.
A lot.
Sorry.
It's all right.
We'll get there.
My dream vehicle. Well, because I have purpose-driven dream vehicles. One of my purpose-driven, i.e., business vehicles, would be a hearse.
Well, there you go. And to those of you who maybe aren't paying attention, you might have noticed that behind him is an entire black bookcase with black framed pictures that are black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So he got his black.
Uh-huh.
We can screw in some red light bulbs.
I've tried that. It won't work as the LED.
Oh. We can get
not like the classic. I want framed butterflies, different things.
Oh, Museum of Death. Look, it's pretty death. That's what I think when I see like insects and butterflies and little mounted frames. I'm just like, oh, look, pretty death.
Uh-huh.
What? It's what it looks like. I have the same reaction to people who like shoot and kill animals and then put a head on a wall of it. Or mount a fish.
I don't get those.
I caught that.
What? Eat it?
Hmm?
Caught it's nice. Eating it's more nice.
Well, yeah, be respectful. Which I'm sure, like, the bigger animals. Obviously, you didn't eat the fish if you mounted the fish. That's just given. But the animal heads, I'm pretty sure those were skinned and everything else, and that was like we're saving the head. So, like, I can be okay with that, but it's just like that's just creepy.
Yeah. Depending on whether you can get the eye cameras that look like eyes that are cameras and then you can film what's going on in the room, that's interesting.
No, that's just bad.
Ooh, Coral Kitchen. That sounds interesting. We've been getting influences of red in our green kitchen, and it starts to look like Christmas sometimes.
It does not look like okay, a little like Christmas. I keep thinking the green's a little lighter.
No.
Like it was supposed to have been. It was supposed to be a little more like yee, and instead it's like ho ho ho.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, aren't you glad I painted the cabinets white?
Well, no, that was part of my plan.
Uh-huh. Sure it was.
Yeah, it was.
Uh-huh. Um, but I'm glad to hear that Elsa's massage business is growing. It's doing really nice. Which is, it's hard to find a good masseuse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely can be.
Yep. And that's been surprising. That's been really well. So what else has made our newsfeed other than K-pop hacking Trump? Hilarious.
I don't know. Like in the last, like that was enough. Like that was just like Christmas, Easter, and all rolled into one with that one. It was just great.
I just cannot believe his inability to get the gravity of the situation.
Oh yeah, the ship is turning against you. There is mutiny ahead. Like this is not looking well for later this year.
Right.
You're really gonna have to get lucky, and not in a pay a porn star kind of way, to pull this one out of the toilet, even with your loyal followers.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. And that's if most of the people voting in the primaries survive.
Right.
Given the number of polling locations that are closing or closed, ballot issues that those locations are having, the extreme lines for voting, and what's that other thing that came from China? Like, well, it started there. You know what I mean? Shit, it makes you sick.
Coronavirus.
Right, that.
Yeah.
As we're creating hours and hours and hours worth of lines, in states that are shutting down like 95% of their polling locations.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that's not going to go well.
Right.
That's going to end badly. Especially, and what gets me, it's going to end badly, and it's also going to end really badly for a lot of Republicans.
Well, and that's something that is coming under fire, actually, is the number of seats that are now up for re-election that are now in battleground states like Georgia, who since 1932 hasn't been a battleground state. Yep. They always elect Republicans.
Yep.
But also what's more interesting, and this is what I'm noticing on news media coverage, for a very long time, Mr. Trump has, had a nice, safe home at Fox News.
Oh, that home burned to the ground somewhere in December.
No, it's
been a few months that like Fox has been like, oh yeah, no, we can't keep going like this.
Well, now, Kellyanne Conway, motor mouth of DC, is getting a lot of hostile interviews from Fox News.
As she should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're like, okay, I get it. You work for Trump. You've got to try to make his BS sound like something that isn't BS. But I don't know. I think what kills me on that is it's like he doesn't even try to make her job any easier.
No.
As in, like, okay, so you kind of screwed up over here. Like this is how I would picture the session going with a normal president. So okay, you screwed up over here. You said this thing that probably it's gonna bite you in the ass, man.
Right.
So let's fix it. Like let's work together, collaboratively. I can go off and do this on my own, and you just keep towing that line. Like I can sell it. I can make it work. I can turn it around. And then no, it's just like this constant, never-ending. Like he didn't say that. Okay, then he says it again and is like, I totally said that the first time. Then she's like, well, okay, but that's not what he meant. No, I totally meant what I said. I can't imagine her job being anything other than just being like, can someone shoot me?
Well, and then she's got her lovely husband, who is an anti-Trumpian.
Mm-hmm. Which is great.
Yes.
However, I'm just figuring that household has to be like his and hers divided down the middle, like War of the Roses. Like at this point, it's got to be like his bedroom and bathroom, her bedroom and bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure that there's like just one kitchen table.
Right.
It's his and hers couches, his and hers garages. Like I just see everything mirrored.
Oh, I think that the whole thing is like separated. Like it's now
like a beta tank. They've just dropped in a piece of glass, and there's like a male beta over here and a female beta over there, and it's all cool.
Yeah.
Except basically. They keep running at the glass, but
Or posting op-eds in the Washington Post just for the hell of it. Yeah. But Corona continues on the rise. But I'm kind of seeing something that I don't really like. And here's what I'm not really liking.
Okay.
The Red Cross, who has continued to be discriminating on multiple fronts, is now offering free coronavirus testing and antibody testing.
Okay.
For blood donations.
Yep.
Huh?
Hey, get them where you can.
Well, I get that.
Saying.
I know. And they really, it's just like, okay, so now this charity who charges $300 a bottle of blood is also trying to build on and make it even more marketable.
Well, but it's also one of the things that right now they're going to have to test for anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like being told that like you're going to get a free HIV test with your blood donation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically are, like at this point, no one wants to turn around and take someone who needs a blood transfusion or needs blood products and potentially give them COVID-19 on top of whatever problems are going on in this situation. Like, no one's going to do that. But no, I mean, there's a lot of things they already test for, HIV being one of the biggest ones. So in many ways, you're getting a free HIV test because let me know, because I am quite sure they will alert you if you test positive, even if it's false positive. There actually are news stories about people who are HIV negative that have had a false positive in their blood donation, having lots of trouble donating after that. The Red Cross is still like, no thanks. Have a nice day.
Well, see, and the other side of this is that when we start looking at, the antibodies, they're finding that they don't stay in the blood so long. However, here is the other ticker for that one. One of the therapies for coronavirus is taking someone that has already recovered from corona and using the antibodies in their blood as an injection to someone that has corona.
Now, that I haven't been following as closely. So that, I know they were doing testing for that to see if that was going to be a feasible thing. Because usually that's going to be a basis for a vaccination.
Right.
Is to move that immunity.
And they've been using it successfully in Britain.
Okay.
So, doing this pathogen transference, the Red Cross has another blood product to sell. Yeah.
Got a little lost.
The antibodies.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're doing that as an intentional extraction, like they're going to divert that blood for that, or is that your understanding, or that they're just testing?
Well, that's not my understanding. That's looking at the pure business side of it and going, oh yeah, that's a byproduct. Yeah. So yes, this vial has corona antibodies. Let's break it down to 13 other. Let's break it from 1 pint down to 13, and then we can give it to 13 patients and $300 a pop.
Potentially.
Yes.
But yeah, again, that's if that's what they end up doing. Now, that's not necessarily to say in that we are anti-blood donation. I'm not, at least. I don't have a problem with blood donation. I can somewhat understand that blood donation and moving blood products around does take some effort. And there is an expense there. I still have some issues with the fact that there's sometimes this kind of mistreatment of the fact that this is a donation. Well, I mean, and again, that's also looking at companies that are also doing blood product that do paid donation.
Right.
Well, at that point, it's not a donation. It's what do they even call that? Paid extraction?
Well, it's a
I forget what it's called. I think there's a different terminology in that scenario.
I don't know what it's called, but here's my point for it. My view of it. The U.S. government gives a lot of entitlement money, a lot of grant money to the Red Cross for operation expenses.
Yes.
Okay. It's supposedly a non-profit. However, if you look at what they're paying, their CEOs, their administrative staff, and everybody else except their nurses doing the work, who also donates their time. The amount of money they're receiving from hospitals is ridiculous. If plasma was any other drug, $300 a dose is ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's a few different things there. But no, I don't know how exactly upset to be with that. I mean, I think I more so have issues with the companies that actually do paid donation, whatever that actually is called. And I forget some of the company names. They throw them into really. There you go.
Yeah.
Companies like that I have more issue with because they do this weird fluctuating fee structure that basically takes advantage of impoverished neighborhoods by only setting up in impoverished neighborhoods and effectively putting people on a treadmill to just keep donating as hard as they can, despite the negative health effects.
Well, not only that, Red Cross does the same thing. They just don't pay the donator. They keep charging and charging the hospitals and charging the patients and then pocketing it.
Right.
Okay. Plasma centers at least pay for the participation and time. And then they do the same recruiting the Red Cross does. They do the same calling, the same mailing, the same T-shirt, the same, look how much I donated, let's post this to Facebook.
Right.
But again, they're charging the same amount, but pocketing it. And that's where my problem is, minus the discriminational practices that they do that are left over from last century.
Right. There is that. And by the way, guys, if you do have questions, we are taking those like we do in all our shows now. So feel free to drop those into the comments with your date of birth, and Aeson will take a crack at those. Yes. And just remember what a question is and is not. A life reading is not a question. A love reading is not a question. There we go.
Yeah. But, and I don't think there should be any shame in, if you participated in plasma centers. That's how I figured out that, no, really, your veins are terrible. You have 2 spots to have blood drawn or to be given IVs from. Save, a lot of time in ERs and a lot of time in hospitals letting nurses, treat me like they're orange.
Well, there is that. No, well, and that's becoming a very more common thing. And it's not just like the occasional struggle. It's starting to look more and more like payday lenders.
Yeah.
That it's less about, like, it's, if you're having a momentary struggle and you're looking for different ways to juggle finances and, a $35 donation here and a couple of things there, but there's a lot of people that are unfortunately getting stuck in a perpetual donation. And Elsa would like to know about the man in Elsa's life.
All right, let's grab the deck and see.
Yes.
All the same monology for the review Get Ready With Me video. I feel like he's a jack of all trades. You're going to have to be very careful with that, though, because he gets mixed up with his emotions. I do feel like he has a tendency to be a daydreamer, so he may need a little bit of your moon signs influence there to kick him in the butt. And you've got to watch your emotions. Keep them in check. Don't go driving up the wall. Make him hit the milestones. Other than that, I think he's a pretty good guy.
Oh, there we go. Hopefully that will help you.
Yes. But no, when we look at like different things of making money, people need to really get tired of the shame level. What you do as your job is your job. What you have to do to keep food on the table, at least you're keeping food on the table. And I think we need to start taking pride in that as a country.
Yes, and I'm not necessarily shaming anyone who does blood donation or uses plasma to help fill gaps in their budget. It's that the gaps in the budget are getting bigger and bigger. And there's a lot of companies exploiting that and creating fluctuating pay schedules, and it's starting to look like a lot more like it is a predatory scam. Right. I mean, it's not that it's illegitimate, and it's not like the money's not, legitimate. It's just that with the fluctuating rates and refer a friend bonuses and that kind of stuff, it's looking more and more like a scam.
And it probably does to someone who looks at it in that way of, okay, how is that different than Sensei or all these other companies that, Get your friends to sell it and you make money off their sales. Avon, their whole marketing campaign.
Well, right, and the one difference with Avon is that it is a technical multi-level marketing company. It's still legitimate.
Yeah.
Multi-level marketing isn't a problem. It's just when it starts to be exploitative.
Right.
That when it gets to a point that no, and granted, it's a poor comparison, but they've adopted a lot of technique of like your first donation gets X amount, and then you have to do. Then it's sort of like a buffet card or a free movie rental. You have to do so many at a lower rate, and then it goes back up, and then you have to do.
No, it's
there's a lot of that now.
Well, it's reverse. Your first donation is a certain price, and then your second donation is twice that. And then you've got to wait 2 weeks, and you go through the same system. It's to get you to return to do the second donation that they're counting on. But the other side of that is, but what I'm talking about is how many times have I heard people, well, I have a real job.
Yeah, you do run into a fair amount of that. And that's not necessarily exactly about what you do, as much as other people's inability to understand that, no, using the networks and between your event schedule, it's a very real job. It pays very real bills and buys very real food and can pretty much run a very real household.
Right. But no, that's just an example of what we see a lot of times is gig workers or whatever you want to call them. And I'm sorry, I'm putting plasma donation in the same category as working for Fiverr and making $5 a pop off the logo you make. People make comments like that all the time, and it's like, no, that's a real job. It has real hours. It has real flexibility. And I think that we're going to start seeing more of a populational change where it's no longer, well, what do you do for work? It's, so what are you into right now as far as work? Because I'm sure you're doing multiple things.
Well, or even moving beyond that if we're talking about an entirely gig economy and Fiverr style employment, then it's a little bit less about what you're doing. And I think you may eventually move into a point where a lot of people, that's no longer really a valid question. It's kind of, moment by moment, minute by minute. Like, this week I've done, 14 logos and I did this other thing and, and I Ubered for 6 hours and,
right.
But that also worries me a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily opposed to gig economy concepts. I'm not opposed to employment moving out of this structured 8 to 5, Monday through Friday concept, which, I mean, granted, we're already kind of out of that a little bit. But in terms of, we still, in a lot of ways, are working shifts. Like, I don't know how you get a nurse on not a shift. Like, staffing a hospital is a lot harder. That some industries lend themselves to it and some industries don't.
There's a great way to staff a hospital or nursing home without shifts. Me and another girl used to bounce off each other.
Okay.
I'd come in at 3, she'd leave at 3. She'd come back in at 3, or she'd come in at 7, and I'd leave at 7.
So you're doing rolling 12s.
Right. Sometimes I was doing 16 or she was doing 16. It just depended on where the rotation hit the 16. We never had a shift. We had so what time do you want to come back? Okay, that works. Or I've got to get 16 in today. I'll see you at 7.
Okay. Well, but still, what I'm saying, though, is when you're talking about like a Fiverr economy, like a gig economy, That means you could be doing a variety of things. It's not like you can just exactly call in a nurse for one patient for 20 minutes. And okay, here's your $5. Like, there's a lot more that goes into that.
More like 5 minutes, and there is a lot more goes into that. But how often do we see this stuff going on? Example, in technology land, well, there's no reason for you to be there.
Not always. Some of it I do have to be there for. Some of it is very, very, very important. And sometimes if it doesn't work at all, there's not a lot I can do. Like,
think back to your PRC days.
Mm-hmm.
How many evening shifts were you just there moving a mouse?
Well, technically not many, because I was technically squeezing in a 40-hour work. Well, I was still doing a 40-hour work week, just in 4 days instead of 5. But then also beyond that, I was even there beyond when I was supposed to be able to go home.
Right.
Just because the volume was there.
Right.
Now, looking at a different job that I did, yeah, there was a definite need, and this was early 2000s, very early 2000s. And effectively, I was a classroom after-hours support for 2 hours in a overlap situation in which, like, university IT had already shut down for the day. They left at this time. Can you come in for a couple of hours up till and a little after the first break of night classes in case a professor or two has a problem?
Right.
And in that situation, yeah, a lot of that was just dead. Like, what, all I can do is sit here and be available. And it's one of those things, it's like, well, I also have a cell phone. You could just call me.
Right.
And if I have to come over for a few, like, and that's even poor broke college student, like, turning down money at that point.
Right.
Is like, or you could just call me. And I'll be on campus for 2 hours. I can go get dinner. I can go do whatever. And I just know that, like a medic, if my phone rings, I got to go wherever to do whatever.
Right.
And make it work. Because the reality of that is they actually ended up killing that position. Because that was a concern. That was born out of faculty and a couple of issues. And the reality of it was it wasn't actually that bad.
No.
That they just had a bad run of luck with, oddly enough, the thing that they should have brought up directly that their real problem was for support was that there were a couple of faculty members that had gotten a bad run of luck on projector bulbs. I didn't have access to those anyway.
Right.
Because back then, those were still like $80 or $90 a pop. And they're like, yeah, no. One, we are not going to be responsible for him climbing a ladder. For ceiling mounted projector units. And two, even if he did, it's gonna be a while, because even if it blows 20 minutes ago, the inside of that unit is going to be really hot. You're not going to be able to touch that for a little bit.
Right.
So
yeah, but and also, she used to work for Kane. But think about it this way: what if all your employment was that way? You have it worked out to when you come in, and someone else, you leave at 1 because you want a midday nap, and someone has kids, comes in at 1 and works till 4, and gets the kids off the bus and goes home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's been a lot of that, and a lot of people sharing their time. Like, there's a lot of unofficial labor. Like, it's not, trying to avoid the words, it's not a real job in terms, only in terms of like it's really hard to establish it like that. That calling it a real job, well, no, not really, but at the same time, it is. It's a gig. It's a thing you do, and someone will pay you for that.
Right.
Like, hey, can you just drive over and pick up my kids every day? I'll give you $50 for your time and gas. Or like a week or whatever.
Right.
You know, just whatever, so that we can get through this, because I can't be in two places at once. And those are things that people do. And trying to individually go, well, is that worth reporting to anyone? But again, it's money and it adds up. And I think that's a big problem that we've had over the years. Our grandmothers, our grandparents did this shit. Our great grandparents did it all the time, you know, taking in laundry, like your grandmother, to buy her typewriter, and, you know, doing some baking, a little babysitting here and there.
Well, like your grandmother, I'm quite sure she made a good penny driving those ladies.
Well, and it wasn't even really that. It's just, it wasn't even about the money, I don't think. It was because they could. Like, they never really were one, I don't think, to even ask about gas money or anything like that. It's that the kids have to go. And, you know, we've got 2 cars, you know, and for the time period, and my wife has a driver's license. You know, it was one of those sort of situations that, like, okay, we'll take both cars.
Right.
You know, she'll drive one, I'll drive the other. You know, we can pack the women and, you know, a couple of kids into one, and the men and a couple of kids in the other.
Right.
And they took off to baseball games and football or whatever all Dad played.
Right.
And I know that sounds weird, but you got to realize that we're talking about the late 40s, early 50s. My grandmother had a driver's license, and that was weird. She was, and the fact they owned 2 cars was weird enough.
But no, it was very much weird. It was very much different. I think we're going about a new age where the 9 to 5, Monday, you know, 9 to 5, 9 to 3, 9 to whatever, 7 to whatever, is becoming a thing of the past. And it's, you know, that availability question on job applicants needs to be looked at a little bit differently.
Yeah. Well, and just thinking about my grandparents and their schedules, they weren't 8 to 5 people. My grandmother was a school cook. She got off of work at 3. She just had to be there bright and early. And my grandfather was a mine electrician. He got called out whenever there was a problem. Whether that was 2 in the morning or 6 in the morning. Yeah, my grandmother was kick-ass. Her exact quote to my grandfather, she only ever asked for, truly, honestly, at real threat, asked for 2 things in their entire marriage. She wanted a driver's license and to learn how to drive, because she wasn't getting stuck at home because he got called out at all hours and she was sick of it. The other one she asked for was a gun and to learn how to shoot it, because they were living in a house that next to one that people rented, and it was a crappy landlord situation. So they kept renting to some really rough people. So she wanted to learn how to drive, because my grandfather mostly had company trucks anyway. And then eventually they ended up a 2-car household, even with the company trucks. So technically there were like 3 cars in the driveway. So yeah, no, she was kick-ass on that. Like, those were her 2 big demands. Like, that's it. Everything else, they fought it out. But those were non-negotiable.
And half your work's already done.
I know, right? Yep, you're a car away from being happy.
No.
Hey, you got your driver's license.
I have my driver's license. On a car that I want.
Yep.
Not one that will get me through, but one that I want. And I want to
And
do
you didn't have to park it in the middle of the road and get out and just have a fit. Something else my grandmother did. That was how she got the job in the first place as a school cook. She literally took the job because she got ticked off at my grandfather telling her how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
So she went and got a job so she could buy her own car. So that she could not be told how to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My grandparents had a long, protracted battle on that one.
It's all right. She always kept her car.
She did. Right up until the last few years. Because that's probably the last 2 years of her life. So we're talking from 60 something, 1960, right in there, in the literal beginning of the school lunch program.
Yeah.
Whatever year that was, she got hired like the first or second year and worked until the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, she always had her own car and paid for it. And by God, it was hers and it would go wherever she wanted it to go. And yeah, so up until the last couple of years of her life. And then we finally had to talk her into the new one. And it was less talk, more like we just went ahead and did it. She got very upset about it, and it took her a couple of months to go, well, I think I like this one. I can see better. And that's everything I got out of the new car was, well, I guess it's okay. I can see better.
Well, you know, it does have a better clearance than her car. We'll give her that.
It actually was easier for her to get in and out of. It was easier for her to see when we were driving around, things like that. It's true, but no, she wasn't going to give me the, like, you made a really good choice.
Yeah.
Or I'm glad you kind of like strong-armed me and through this one. No, I wasn't going to get that. Knew I wasn't going to get that. That was never going to happen.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
He was dead set against us getting rid of her car. And it's like, but Mamaw, it's 13 years old, and if it breaks down on the side of the road, we either have to leave you in it like Granny Clampett on the back of a tow truck, or I got to figure out what we're doing with your butt. Your no balance, 2 bad knees, 2 bad hips, half blind, and like 3/4 deaf, senior citizen butt on a walker in roads in West Virginia, on the side of a road in West Virginia. Yeah, never going to happen. Well, technically, she died with a license.
No, when did she stop?
Virginia renewed it.
No, wasn't it like she was 92 when she actually stopped?
Well, technically it was 92. I started slowing her down a lot and offering to drive her more. And then probably by about 93, 94 was probably the last time she really drove. And that was to practice to make sure that she still knew what she was doing so she could get her license renewed.
Yeah.
And to say that she couldn't drive at that point would be slightly untrue. It's not that she didn't know the parts and components of driving, but putting them all together. Like, no. She knew everything she needed to do to drive. She just couldn't put it all together and orchestrate it anymore.
Yeah.
It was scary. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she stopped driving about 93-ish years old.
Yeah.
Thank God. And never had, never technically had an accident or a speeding ticket. She bumped into a lot of things. But nothing that was actually an accident.
Yeah, my grandmother drove up until the day she passed. For those that don't know her story, she was an early widow the first time around with 8 kids. And she ended up hand building her house, um, teaching herself how to drive on a stack of phone books. People make jokes about it, but no, phone books and blue jean material wrapped together makes a very lovely seat cushion. Um, and she raised 8 kids on a income that nobody understood. They just thought she was some article writer.
Mhm.
Done laundry, babysit, made stuff out of what they had.
Mhm.
uh, I am still writing a book. I'm having a problem trying to explain in the book how she met my grandfather. Because she met him by a hunting accident. He shot her pot.
Not puff puff pass, but cooking.
Cooking pot. Um, so I'm still stuck in that, making that transition because grandfather actually won her in a poker game. Um, so yeah, it's going to be once I can get past this writer's block and explain, this is how things were done then. That I
Strange
can
things
go on
happened,
other
just
things.
like the end of all of her marriages. All of them.
Well, yes, all her marriages. She was widowed many times.
The
Um,
zodiac has less signs than the woman had was widowed.
her and Elizabeth Taylor was in a race.
She won.
Yes. Um, but
Yeah.
all her husbands died. The only one that was suspicious was her first husband that died by quote unquote death certificate saying hypnotized by a snake. Um, the rest of them died in mining accidents.
12 mining accidents. That seems high.
Not for West Virginia in the time period.
Huh.
Mine collapses. One got ran over by a train. One got ran over by the cart thing. But unfortunately, she tended to fall in love with men that did not respect women. Like she liked the macho type.
See, that's why I think
Uh huh.
these are not accidents.
Uh huh.
No.
But so yes, it'll be a really great, interesting read because it was an interesting learning all the family stories and how things happen. But it's just trying to explain things like, she's washing dishes and in the river, and some idiot is out there, you know, and shoots a pot because he thinks that it's silver, it's shiny, so it has to be a deer in today's times.
There you go. Well, it is a little hard to follow that one.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I would say that definitely fits your grandmother as a rebel. A little
know,
bit. A little bit.
well, she was of a different time period. She believed husbands had their places and were useful up until the point that they came to the house.
I know, but she never quite understood the full use of a husband at the rate she was going through them. Life insurance, honey, life insurance. Dear God, after the fifth one, start getting life insurance on all of them.
Why?
I'm just saying.
Um, but and it's the getting it into English. That's a lot of things. Getting things, things that we will get as West Virginians, like poker games and coal mining, and threatening to chop off a guy such and such for behaving a certain way in front of your daughter.
No, that one still applies.
Okay. I don't know if it'll apply universally.
Hey, I had family members that died at a belling. And if you don't know what that is, I suggest you look that up.
Yeah, but a lot of our relations, our family histories, don't make sense to a generation.
True.
When it wasn't love, it was okay. How much do you make? What do you do? Those questions used to be a lot more important.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Very true.
Yep. Well, guys, we're at the hour-and-a-half mark, so we're going to wrap up. Thank you guys for joining us. We will be back on Friday. Now, look for a live stream on Aeson Knight, probably Wednesday or Thursday. And that'll be a get ready with me, which I'm going to test out some new makeup and see how much I like it. And then we're also going to review the Moonology Oracle cards. We'll see what. These are the first ones to come in from the Wish order. They were a $5 deck. Let's see if they're worth $5 a paper.
Absolutely. Also, you will get a kick out of the idea.
Yes.
But yes. Well, and of course, we certainly appreciate our Patreon sponsors. You didn't do that already, did you? Because, I don't listen.
No, I didn't already do the Patreon sponsors. And yeah, you don't listen.
But yes, we appreciate our Patreon sponsors, Beverly Walker and the Crystal Lotus Shop.
Yes.
We definitely appreciate you guys. And if any of you watching this evening, in addition to liking, subscribing, suggesting us to others, share and share alike, would like to support the show, there is always Patreon, where you can find out all the wonderful things that you can get for, what is it, $1, $5, and $10 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Discounts.
As well as discounts. Absolutely. The important words. Hello, Albert.
Yeah,
sorry we're ending the show. We hope you enjoy the rest of it when you rewind.
Yep. But no, like, share, subscribe, put us out there. We have fun doing these shows. These are kind of fun for us, but these are kind of little snapshot conversations. And we're going to be putting out our newsletter for our subscribers. We're also maybe doing some other things because we've gotten some ideas from you guys. Now, if during the week you see something you want our opinions on, feel free to send it to us. We will happily look it over, and if it's something that piques our interest too, like the astrology thing that it's like, have you lost your dang minds? We will happily comment and share the story. So until next week, good night, y'all.
Good night.